Sarah never imagined that Saturday morning would change her life forever. When she found a lost wallet in the supermarket parking lot, she only thought about doing the right thing, returning it to its owner. But when she opened the wallet to look for identification, she saw something that made her heart race. A photo of herself from when she was only 8 years old, along with other photos of her family that she had never shared with anyone. The name on the ID belonged to someone she knew very well. Rebecca Martinez, her best friend for over 15 years. And why had she never mentioned her real last name? Sarah Matthews, a 34-year-old nurse, lived an apparently perfect life in Portland, Oregon. Divorced 2 years prior, she had rebuilt her routine with the unconditional help of Rebecca, the friend she had met during nursing school, who had become more like a sister to her. That October morning, Sarah was doing her weekly shopping at Whole Foods when she noticed a wallet dropped next to a blue Honda Civic, always polite and helpful. She didn't hesitate to pick it up to look for the owner. The wallet was brown leather, elegant, but already worn by time. When she opened it, the first thing she saw was an Oregon driver's license. The face in the photo was unmistakable: Rebecca Stone, her best friend. But the name was wrong. Rebecca Martinez. Sarah frowned, confused. Rebecca had always used the surname Stone, even before getting married. That's when she saw the photographs. Her hands trembled as she recognized her own childhood image. Smiling in a park she vaguely remembered from her childhood in Seattle. There were also photos of her parents, her high school graduation, and even an image of her and Mark, her ex-husband, on their wedding day. Sarah felt her legs weaken. How did Rebecca have these photos? They had met in college when Sarah was already 19 years old. These images were from much earlier than that. And why had Rebecca never mentioned that she had them? With still trembling hands, Sarah searched for more clues in the wallet. She found credit cards, all in the name of Rebecca Martinez, and a business card from a private investigator named Robert Chen in Seattle. On the back of the card, a handwritten note: Client, R. Martinez. Case, Matthews family. Status, located. Sarah's world crumbled in that moment. Matthews family was her maiden name. Had Rebecca investigated her? But why, and for how long? Sarah looked around the parking lot, searching for the blue Honda Civic. But the car had disappeared. Her mind raced with 1,000 possibilities, all of them disturbing. Had Rebecca planned their friendship from the beginning? All the support during the divorce, the nights of conversation, the advice, had it all been a lie? Putting the wallet in her purse, Sarah drove home on autopilot. She needed to think, needed to understand what was happening. Her house, a small townhouse she had bought after the divorce, had never seemed so lonely. Sitting in the kitchen with the wallet on the table in front of her, Sarah recalled the last 15 years of friendship. Rebecca had always been a bit mysterious about her family. She said they were foreigners, that she had lost contact with them a long time ago. Sarah, who had grown up in an unstable home with adoptive parents, had always respected Rebecca's reserve. But now, everything made sinister sense. Rebecca knew intimate details about Sarah's life that she had never shared. She always seemed to be in the right place at the right time when Sarah needed her. When Sarah's marriage was falling apart, Rebecca appeared with a known lawyer who ensured Sarah kept the house. When Sarah was looking for a job after the divorce, Rebecca mentioned an opening at the hospital where she worked. Sarah picked up her phone and, with trembling fingers, searched for the private investigator's name. Robert Chen, with an office in Seattle, specialized in locating missing persons and family investigations. The website was professional, with testimonials from satisfied clients who had found lost relatives. But Sarah had never been lost. She had always lived in Oregon, always kept the same phone number since college. Why would someone need an investigator to find her? The doorbell rang, interrupting her thoughts. Through the peephole, Sarah saw Rebecca standing at the door with a worried expression on her face. She was holding the keys to the blue Honda Civic. Sarah took a deep breath. It was time to discover the truth about who her best friend really was. Sarah opened the door with her heart racing, trying to maintain a neutral expression. Rebecca was there, wearing her favorite red sweater, her brown hair pulled back in a messy bun, exactly as always. "Hi, Sarah. You won't believe what happened to me today," Rebecca said, entering without waiting for an invitation, as she always did. "I lost my wallet at the market and ... This wallet," Sa interrupted, picking up the brown leather wallet from the kitchen table. Rebecca stopped in the middle of the room, her eyes widening at seeing the object in question. For a split second, Sarah saw something she had never noticed in her friend's face. Fear. "Oh yes. Thank you so much for finding it. Where did you find it?" Rebecca said, quickly extending her hand to retrieve the wallet. But Sarah took a step back, holding the wallet against her chest. Before that, Rebecca ... Or should I say, Rebecca Martinez? Sarah asked, carefully observing her friend's reaction. Rebecca's face went pale. She let herself fall onto the couch, her hands trembling slightly. "Sarah, I can explain ... Then explain. Explain why you have photos of me from when I was 8 years old. Explain the private investigator's card. Explain why you've been lying about your name all these years." Sarah exploded, all the accumulated tension overflowing. Rebecca closed her eyes and took a deep breath. When she opened them again, Sarah saw tears forming. "My real name is Rebecca Martinez," she began, with a weak voice. "And I'm not your friend by chance, Sarah. I'm your sister." Sarah felt as if the ground had disappeared beneath her feet. She leaned against the wall, struggling to process the words she had just heard. That's impossible. I don't have sisters. I was raised by adoptive parents since I was 5 years old. You had an older sister, Rebecca said, slowly standing up. I was 10 years old when they separated us. You were very small. You probably don't remember me. Sarah shook her head violently. No, this can't be true. My adoptive parents told me I had no family. Rebecca walked to the window, looking at the street without really seeing. Our mother had drug problems. Our father, well, he wasn't present. Social services took us from home when you were 4 years old. I went to a family in Seattle. You went to Portland. They told me it would be better if we didn't keep in touch, that it would be easier for you to adapt to the new family. Sarah felt nauseous. So you looked for me on purpose. I spent years trying to find you, Rebecca admitted, turning to face Sarah. When I turned 18, I started looking for you. It took years, but finally the investigator located you when you were in nursing school, and you decided ... what? To pretend we were just friends. Rebecca approached hesitantly. I wanted to tell you the truth, Sarah, but you seemed so happy. So ... normal. You had found a career. You were dating Mark. I didn't want to destroy that by bringing back a past you didn't even remember. So you lived a lie for 15 years. It wasn't a lie, Rebecca exclaimed. My love for you, our friendship, everything we lived together, that was real. I just ... didn't tell the whole truth about how we met. Sarah let herself fall into a chair, putting her head in her hands. You manipulated my entire life, the divorce lawyer, the job at the hospital. It was all you, orchestrating everything. I just wanted to take care of you, Rebecca said, with tears streaming down her face. I always felt guilty for not being able to protect you when we were children. When I found you again, I swore that nothing bad would ever happen to you. Sarah lifted her head, looking at the woman she thought she knew so well. You didn't have the right to make that decision for me, Rebecca. You didn't have the right to choose which parts of my own story I could know. The silence between them was deafening. 15 years of friendship, built on a fundamental lie, weighed in the air like a storm about to explode. What happened to our mother? Sarah asked finally, her voice just a whisper. Rebecca hesitated before answering, and Sarah knew, even before hearing the words, that there were more secrets to be revealed. Rebecca wiped away her tears and sat in the chair across from Sarah, as if she were preparing to reveal the last secret that separated them. Our mother. She died 3 years ago, Rebecca said softly. Heroin overdose in a shelter in Seattle. Sarah felt like she had been punched in the stomach. The mother she didn't even know was alive was now dead. And Rebecca had gone through that alone. Were you with her before, before she died? Rebecca shook her head. I tried to find her several times over the years. When I finally did, she was very sick. I talked about you, showed her your photos. She cried so much, Sarah. She said that her biggest regret in life was losing her daughters. Sarah looked at the photographs scattered on the table. Images of a childhood she could barely remember, preserved by a sister she didn't know existed. These photos, how did you get them? Some I took when we were children. I had a disposable camera I got for my birthday. Others our mother gave me before she died. She kept everything she could before losing us. Sarah picked up one of the photos. Her and Rebecca playing on a swing. Two smiling children, not knowing they would soon be separated forever. Why didn't you tell me when our mother died? Because you were going through the divorce, Rebecca replied. You were already dealing with so much pain. I didn't want to add more suffering to your life. But she was my mother too, Sarah exclaimed, anger and sadness mixing. I know. But you need to understand, I spent my entire adult life protecting you from a distance. Even when we were just friends, my instinct was always to spare you from pain. Sarah stood up and walked to the window, observing the quiet neighborhood where she had built her new life after the divorce. Do you have other secrets? She asked without turning around. Since the day we met again in college, everything I lived with you was genuine. Sarah turned to face the woman who had been her best friend and now discovered was her sister. How can I trust you again? How can I believe anything you tell me? Rebecca also stood up, taking a hesitant step toward Sarah. Because, despite everything, you know me. For 15 years, you saw who I really am. The only thing I hid was our history. My love for you, my loyalty, my concern, all of that was real. Sarah looked into Rebecca's eyes and, for the first time, saw not only her best friend, but familiar traits she had never noticed. I need time, Sarah said finally. I need to process all of this. I understand, Rebecca nodded. But Sarah, please, don't push me completely out of your life. I already lost you once. I don't know if I'd survive losing you again. Sarah picked up the wallet and handed it to Rebecca. Your true identity, she said. Maybe it's time we stop living with false identities. Rebecca took the wallet, her fingers briefly touching Sarah's. Thank you for giving me a chance to explain. After Rebecca left, Sarah was alone with the weight of a story she never knew was hers. She looked again at the photographs scattered on the table, evidence of a lost childhood and a sisterly love, that it survived decades of separation and lies. Maybe the truth was painful, but For the first time in her life, Sarah felt she knew her complete story. And maybe, just maybe, she and Rebecca could build a relationship based on truth, no matter how complicated it was. Hafta. Family wasn't just about blood. It was about choice. And Sarah needed to decide if she would choose to forgive the sister she never knew she had, but who had always been by her side. Sometimes, life's biggest revelations come in unexpected ways. A lost wallet, a forgotten photo, a truth kept for years. Sarah's story makes us reflect on the secrets we carry and how love, even when wrapped in lies, can be genuine. How many times do we quickly judge people's actions without knowing the whole story? Rebecca made questionable decisions, but her love for her sister was real. Sarah had her world turned upside down, but gained something precious, a family she never knew she had. Life is full of mysteries and twists that change our perspective on everything. If this story touched your heart, hit like and subscribe to the channel for more emotional stories like this one. In the comments, tell us, what city or country are you watching from? And have you ever discovered a family secret that changed your life? Share your experience. Your story might inspire other people. Until the next story.